There are a number of methods you can use to attach patterns to wood, and I'll leave a link to a video I did on that subject where I showed 9 different ways. This time I decided to use a clear vinyl shelf liner, which you should easily be able to find locally or online. I already cut a piece of shelf liner to cover this piece of wood. Then I covered the back with a spray adhesive, another easily available item. With that done, you press the patterns against the shelf liner and the prep is done. This piece of wood is too large to handle comfortably on the scroll saw, so I'll go to the bandsaw and make a couple of cuts to separate this into 2 pieces. The leftover piece in the middle will be big enough to make some small animals for a Noah's Ark. I used one of my drill presses to drill holes for the 3 dogs' eyes, a pilot hole for the oval eye of the squirrel, and a pilot hole for the space between one dog's body and its tail. I'll start cutting there. This is 3/4 inch thick sapele, and my rule of thumb tells me to use a number 9 Pegas modified geometry blade for the cut. If you're new to scroll sawing, you should watch my video on scroll saw blade selection. I'll leave a link on the screen and in the description. One part of this cut had a sharp point, so the way I approached this was to cut from the pilot hole to the point. Then I backed the blade up to the pilot hole, swiveled the workpiece 180 degrees, and backed up to the point. The blade was now facing in almost the right direction, so it only took a slight turn of the workpiece to get the blade cutting in the correct direction. This is easier than cutting to the corner and making a very sharp turn needed to leave a sharp point. There's no waste between any of these pieces, so your cuts need to be accurate. You might want to slow the speed down so the blade is cutting less aggressively. When I completed cutting the puppy, I noticed it was a little difficult to push the piece out from top to bottom. This tells me that either the blade is not at a perfect 90-degree angle to the table, or I am pushing too hard on the blade, causing it to flex. I'm sure the table is perfectly adjusted, so I know I have to let up a little on my pressure to the blade. For the smaller adult dog, I made the cut all the way around the perimeter. Then I went back and cut that little line that indicates the dog's mouth, and I did the same for the larger adult dog. There's no assembly required for this project, so once it's all cut, I'll just do a little bit of sanding, and then I'll take it to the finishing room. My finishing room started out as a darkroom in the days of film photography, and it's at the opposite end of the basement, as far away from the sawdust producing tools as possible. The shelf paper peels off easily when you're done, but it holds the pattern in place while you're cutting. I set the pieces on the scroll saw table so you can see what they look like before finishing. Sapele is in the mahogany family and is a nice warm brown color. The finish will bring out the color and the grain nicely. This is a quick project, easy enough for a beginner on the scroll saw, but still fun for someone with experience. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so, and check the screen for the next suggested video to watch.